Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of RiesKitchen. Today we're making Pulpo con pimentón. Apologies to the Spanish speakers, that's Spanish octopus with paprika. So we need to start off with is a pot of boiling water, salted, which I have here. We have some sea salt, olive oil. Both we need some smoked paprika and some hot paprika, and of course the star of the show, the octopus. So let's talk octopus. Today we're using an adult octopus, and my fishmonger had already taken the head off, but often you can buy them still with the hood, and we cook them with the hood if you've bought them that way. Now this is just over a kilo worth of octopus, and as I hold it up you'll see that what I have is actually only 3 legs, so quite a reasonable sized adult octopus here. You can freeze it and then cook it, but this one has not been frozen, so this one's lovely and fresh and quite meaty, as you can see. Now there are many old wives' tales about getting your octopus nice and silky and tender, because we're trying to transfer the hard collagen into that beautiful gelatinousness that we will get at the end. This is no old wives' tale, this is going to work. So what I've got is my pot. I'm going to turn it up a little bit so that it's actually on quite a hard boil to start with. And I'm going to dip my octopus in the water for about 4 or 5 seconds and pull it out, and dip it back in for another 4 or 5 seconds and pull it out, and then do it a third time and pull it out, and then I'm going to put it in and leave it in. So in she goes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And out. So we're back up to the boil, so in for her second dip. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And lucky last. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Out. Now we're going to pop it back in. Now because of the way this octopus had curled, I've added a little bit more water so that most of it is underwater. It always floats a little bit, but I've got a nice soft boil now, so I'm going to put the lid on it and I'm going to let it boil gently for about half an hour. So let's have a peek. Oh wow. So you can see here that the octopus has now loosened up, and so when before it had expanded and all of the suckers were well protruding, that's all eased back down and it's softened up. And when I pinch just near the body, it's quite soft and tender. So now I'm just going to turn the water off and I'm going to let it sit there cooling and just doing that final cook for another half hour. Right, let's see how our octopus has gone. Look at that, doesn't it just look fantastic? So now I'm going to portion this up, and first up what I want to do is cut off the tentacles right up at the base there. So now let's portion that up, and I'm just going to take off this tiny little bit here because that's just going to burn. Still good to eat. I might leave that one as is. This one, it has such a gorgeous little curl to it, but again that little bit's just going to burn. This one. Now this bit's quite thick, so I am actually going to just split it down the middle. Still a bit hot. Now if we still had the head, we'd be taking the head off. This piece still has the beak on it, so I am just going to cut that bit out and throw that away. But the remainder of this is still fabulous, and so we can just cut that up into smaller pieces. The finishing off of the octopus is a two-stage process. So what I'm going to do is put a few pieces in my pan here that's got some olive oil that I've heated up, and I'm just going to get a little bit of caramelisation on them. Don't overcrowd your pan, don't be tempted to put it all in at once. Now it's time to talk paprika. I always used to think that paprika was just paprika, and although some said sweet, some said smoked, I just figured that they were all the same thing until I went to Spain, and then I realised there's actually a really great difference between the three. So they range from sweet all the way through to hot, and in the Spanish paprikas are all smoked. You use them for different things. So the sweet and milder mainly give you colour, whereas the hot or picante, like we have on my tin here, picante hot, gives it that zing as well. And so they're really not interchangeable. Buying good quality Spanish paprika is so worth it, and you will notice the difference. So you can see here that I have my sweet, which is a kind of rustier brown, and I have my picante or my hot, which is a redder terracotta, more terracotta-y looking colour. So the last step in our dish is the finishing off. You certainly don't want to cook paprika too much, you'll burn it, and it's too precious to do that. So I'm just going to mix my two different paprikas together with some olive oil. So now we're going to paint this wonderful paprika mix onto our octopus. And then I'm going to pop that into our fry pan and just warm all of that through. But again, don't overcrowd. Just leave a couple of pieces at a time. And we don't want to burn our paprika, so just a minute or two. Now I've garnished my plate with some fabulous Spanish sea salt and with a roast capsicum emulsion. And for all the details, don't forget to check out my blog at the link below. But as always, the best bit's in the eating. That octopus is as soft as butter. It is just divine. And the zing and the slight little tingle on your tongue from the paprika makes this an amazing dish. Until next time, everybody. Ciao.